Thank you everyone for tuning in to Real STL News. This is Amino Ali and I'm here with
Yahki.
Now Yahki is known for being like the Dr. Sebi of St. Louis. So basically we're here today to give you guys a brief segment on holistic health, alternative medicine and holistic health. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, everybody call me Yahki. Basically, what we do is I got a group out here, and we known as the Biblical Tribe Israelites, and we do a lot of natural healing from a African perspective. So what we do is we dig deep into our culture and we pour our healing, our metaphysics, whether it's psychologically, our economics, morality, everything come from this African-centered consciousness, and we use that to heal the body, the mind, and the soul.
Okay. Can you give us a little brief description of what we got going on over here?
Basically, back here is most of my herbs I use. Many more herbs than these, but these are most of the herbs we use for all our healing cases, whether it be HIV, herpes, STDs, lupus, MS, multiple sclerosis, any disease you can name. I don't heal, but the herbs and changing your diet back to where you come from will heal your body of any sickness and illness and disease, whether it's mentally, physically, or spiritually.
So do you feel that African Americans are targeted by pharmaceutical companies?
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. So basically, what it is, we've been targeted since we left from where we was at. When they came and picked us up from Africa and they brought us to the shores of America, they didn't bring none of the things that we needed. They didn't bring our food. They didn't bring our schooling. They didn't bring our books, our education. They didn't bring our way of bartering and trading. They didn't bring our God. They didn't bring anything that's a part of our culture. So here today, I really want to speak on how your culture play a major role inside of your health, whether it's mental health, psychological health, or physical health, because your culture consists of your language, your land, your food, your economics, your schooling, and your God. So we lost all of that coming here and we adapted to their environment. So now we're eating like the people that came and got us, and we're doing the same education as the people that came and got us. So it really have became an ailment into our whole black community.
How do you feel that the statistics shows that African Americans are higher to get cancer, heart attacks, diabetes, hypertension, which I'm dealing with at a young age? How do you feel about those statistics?
I feel it's real, and I know for a fact that it's way higher. The rate is way higher than what they telling us. I did a whole lecture on it. It's way higher. We have to realize that we're literally was snatched from our homeland. So when we was taken from our homeland, we're literally like runaway slaves. So when you running from something or running from anything, your body have to adapt. See, the thing about a cell, you are made up of 150 trillion cells. Everybody is. Each cell have its own organelle. Each cell have its own brain. Each cell have its own digestive system, so it moves just like you. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call it micro and macro. Well, the thing about a cell is it tries its hardest to adapt to an environment. If it can adapt to an environment, then mucus arise. So our bodies are in stress states. The reason why our body is in a stress state is because basically when you're running from something, your heart rate speed up. When you fear from something, your kidneys shut down. So now serotonin is not being produced and melatonin is not being produced and down in your prostate and in your stomach. So you stop eating. Your sex organs start shutting down. Your blood pressure rate go up. And your sugar go up because you're not eating, because you're in a constant stress state. Then when you do eat, you eat for the emotions and not for the cells. So if you look at everything I just said and you backplay it, that's why we're the highest in high blood pressure, because our blood pressure is higher because we're in a stress state. We're always running from something, or we're always trying to beat a clock, or we got to work here or work there. There's no rest for the black man and black woman feet. We always constantly doing something. The reason why we suffer from fire wars and prostate cancer, again, because the sex organs are now compromised because of the same stress. The glycagon or the glycose and fructose rises up, and the insulin is not predominant in the pancreas no more. So now we got high blood pressure, we got diabetes, we got STDs, we got cancer, and on top of all the things that's in the black communities that we eating, which is by its purpose. It's a systematic target in the black neighborhoods. And this is what I'm saying, and I'm not being racist. I'm stating facts. If you go through the black communities right now, if you go through the black communities, on every corner there's a liquor store. But if you go to Ladue, it's something totally different. You see libraries, you see bookshops, you see gift stores. You see all that, even when you go into certain Jewish communities inside of a university city. So we see we being targeted in certain ways, and the reason why is because they know your genetic makeup and you don't. And your genetic makeup goes back to Africa, the land which we were snatched from. So when you get into Africa, you start seeing how holistic and spiritual our people was, our ancestors was. And your bloodline and your DNA is directly connected to your culture and to your land. So we are mineral deficient out here because our mineral grows in Africa. That's where our iron phosphate at. That's where our calcium's at. That's where everything we need for our body is there. So when they came and got us, they didn't bring our food. Therefore, we eating what another makeup, a genetic makeup people eat, and it's really damaging our cells. That's exactly what's going on.
So you feel that Western civilization does play a part in the declining health of
yes,
African Americans?
It plays a major role. If you're an electrical being and all I do is give you oil, how would that heal your body? See, the thing about us, so-called African Americans, are pure chaotic cells. That's a single cell organism. All right, then you have the other nations, whether we want to call them Caucasians or whatever we want to name them. If you're not a so-called African American, this is what I'm saying. You're a eukaryotic cell. So the difference between a pure chaotic cell and a eukaryotic cell is a pure chaotic cell is a single cell organism, and it originated to this planet first, but it didn't come from this planet. It didn't come. You can look all this up. So inside of our mitochondria, we only have DNA. Well, inside of a eukaryotic cell, which is another nation of people, they have DNA. They have DNA inside their mitochondria, and the mitochondria is nothing but the digestive system, a part of a cell. Inside of the mitochondria, inside of a eukaryotic cell, it have organelles. It have its own systems, and it's made of other DNA segments. Meaning that if you check the DNA of a so-called Caucasian man or a so-called Asian, they literally have the same DNA strands as monkeys, as zebras, and all types of other stuff. But if you check the DNA of a so-called African and you go back deep into his DNA, they don't know where these chemical components come from. It's stated, it's written that they have to come from outer space. So if I'm an electrical being, I need electrical food. If I'm made of certain types of minerals, I need those minerals to sustain my body because, like I said, if I eat food right now, since my mitochondria don't have nothing but DNA in it, I literally feed my DNA. Your DNA is what makes up you and your genome code. So literally everything I eat recreate my body. It don't work like that with eukaryotic cells. They can eat proteins. They can eat complex amino acid structures. We can't do that because we're a single cell organism. So everything we eat must follow the pattern of our genetic code. And what we need to eat is where we come from. We eat from the landmass we come from. If God put us in that landmass for a reason. Mm-hmm. And our food grew there, our water is there and everything. Just like the people that was originally in this region, their food are good for them. But the thing about these new nations that came after us, and I'm going to put Caucasians in one of them, they can literally eat everything and be okay with it because their body know how to adapt a certain way through their mitochondria. We are original cells. They literally come from us. Okay. So we literally have to eat to live. We electrical beings, we need electrical foods. If we get sick, we need to bring the vitality of our electric back up. Your pineal gland actually produces something called carbon and what they call melanin. Your pituitary gland produces zinc, copper, and gold. Your spinal cord is wrapped inside of the nervous system. So we are literally a walking conductivity tester producing electricity, but we're connected to a source because we're not the source of anything. Your liver grounds your brain. We're literally connected to the cosmos. And that's this mystery thing about what we call carbon, which Dr. Sebi call it carbon, or Dr. Laila Africa called melanin. It's the same thing. We the one who have that the specific type of melanin that have selenium inside the nucleus of the cell. Any other nation have sulfur. Sulfur, if you look at sulfur, anytime sulfur get in the body, it actually dehydrates the body. We need the body to be hydrated because, again, we have the most electricity. So what's happening is this is why we're sick, because we lack iron phosphate. We lack iron fluorine. We lack zinc. We lack copper. We lack gold. We lack magnesium because we need all of these things from the plants that's in Africa, not from the plants that grows here. Mm-hmm. So what they've been doing is they've been going and pulling our plants from our homeland, bringing it to the westernized civilization and replanting it, but it's not growing the same because it's in a controlled environment now. It's not up under the same sun as the sun in Africa. It's not under the same warm climate conditions. And you can see this when you look inside of a zoo. If you look inside of a zoo, you see a parrot, you see an eagle. The parrot eats what? fruits and things like that. It don't eat anything that it bleeds. But if you see an eagle and a vulture, they want to eat things with meat because they need the proteins. Protein is bad for so-called African Americans. It's bad for us because it's too complex of a structure. It's too complex. And our kidneys can't process it like any other nation can. So if you go to the zoo, you can see a monkey and a gorilla. These big, massive animals. These primates are eating fruits from trees. But if you look out in the vast plains, you see what? A lion. Even though they all classified under animals, just like we all classified under human beings, but we all have our own food according to our genetic makeup. See, the so-called black man and black woman have forgotten that. So we have to get back to the original diet that was created from us in the landmass that we was put in.
So, okay, let's say, I am coming to you as a client with hypertension. How would you go about healing me?
So you have hypertension. All hypertension is basically when your cholesterol levels raise due to your kidneys. So anybody that got high blood pressure, you got systolic and diastolic. These are actually talking about your kidneys. The top part, the systolic, is actually your adrenal glands that sit on top of the kidneys. The bottom part is the diastolic, is literally your kidneys itself. So the reason why you have high blood pressure is because your body is trying to break down too many proteins and your lymphatic system is not flushing out. So this high cholesterol start rising up. But what happens is it gets inside of the veins of your arteries, and the wall and the veins of your arteries become hardened. And when they become hardened, the blood presses against them arteries super hard while it's going from your heart to your brain throughout your body. So that pressure is what they call high blood pressure. So the thing to heal diseases is not to treat the symptoms, is to get to the root of the problem. High blood pressure is your body trying to fix itself. That's why the cholesterol rises. Your body was genetically made to try to heal itself. But we steady fall into the victim stage of doing what we was taught and not what our ancestors did. So what I would do, I would go to the root of the problem. I will cleanse your kidneys, your adrenal glands, your thyroid, your parathyroid, and I will flush your lymphatic system. And you won't have that again. But this is the trick though. If you go back to the westernized system and start eating what they told you was good for us to eat, which is not, by the way, and is scientifically proven, y'all can look this up, it's facts, you will go back into hypertension.
Okay, so what if, the doctor's telling me, it's just your time, it's hereditary. How do you feel about that?
So the thing about hereditary, they call these genocodes. Everybody got a gene in them. Everybody got a cancer gene. So it's been thousands of years. As us as a people, when you look at in the biblical perspective, the first people on planet Earth was melanin. It was black people. Scientific fact, look it up. Again, I'm not throwing out racist terms, I'm speaking facts, y'all. So when you see how we've been going from culture to culture in slavery before we even came over here, your cells start adapting to certain environments. When your cells start adapting to certain environments, it changes the genocode. So in your genocode, you might have cancer, you might have high blood pressure, you might have diabetes, but genes only get turned on due to the environment you in. Them genes will stay off and will never turn on if you go back to Africa. Because you eating what your cells is made for. So the reason why the high blood pressure gene is turning on. So the thing about the woman is the woman, when she have any disease that you can potentially have, the woman that's already created inside your genocode while you're in the womb. You see what I'm saying? So it's whether it get turned on or turned off is basically dependent on the environment that you choose to live in, because you are a giant cell made up of 50 to 150 trillions of cells. So it's all about the cell and it's all about the environment of the cells. It's not about the gene. It's not about the gene anymore. So everybody want to talk about hereditary and my grandfather had it. The reason why you have diabetes is not because your grandfather had diabetes. It's because he chose to adapt to eating sugar all his life. And then he taught you to do the same thing. Now you eating these same sugars all your life. So that's the hereditary. It's the lifestyle. It's not the bloodline.
How do you feel about cancer? I know cancer is now a multi-trillion-dollar business.
Yes, AIDS is too. That became an industry. And
we have recently lost one of our team members to cancer. How do you feel about cancer?
Cancer is most definitely a biological weapon. And it's most definitely used to target the black community, but now it's got so out of hand due to all these big pharmaceutical companies that it's hitting everybody. All cancer is when your cells start to mutate to try to get rid of other disease. Cancer is when the cell starts dying because the lack of oxygen. So what the cell does is it sends out a stress signal to the other cells, and it tells them to replicate itself. Well, the thing about cancer is when it replicates to other cells, it replicates the same dying cell with the cellular waste on top of it. That's what they call cancer. All you have to do is literally go and flush all the proteins in the body and the cancerous cells through the lymphatic system, cleanse the kidneys, open the kidneys, get the kidneys running, and then you move in that lymph. Once you move that lymph, cancer is out. The whole key to healing is the lymphatic system in the kidneys. And the kidneys is a seat to the soul of your ancestors, especially when we're talking about the black community. We're deeply rooted. There's nothing to your body that's not spiritual. There's nothing to your body that's not scientifical, that's not connected to your land. Everything you made up of, everything you breathe, everything is connected to your land. We just don't know that because we're being diluted with television programming, this new educational system, with the foods we're eating. We're being dumbed down. They're having us, even down to us reproducing. They put this certain type of coat on our condoms that make us sterile. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know the things that we're eating is actually giving us so-called sexually transmitted disease. And this is why I say that. If it wasn't, then how did the first person get it if they never had sex? How did the first person get the STD? If it's a sexually transmitted disease, it had to come from somewhere first. And these things are coming through vaccines. They're coming through what you eat in your kitchen and all of that. All of these things. This is a systematic approach to basically wipe out population.
How do you feel about the tie into a lot of women now having cervical problems, cervical cancer, fibrosis, and things in the ovaries? How do you feel that ties into birth control in African American women?
It basically goes back to what I'm saying. So what they do, so anything that's connected into your reproductive system has something to do with two things, either testosterone or estrogen. Whenever you get into the reproductive system of the male or the female, and the thing is, I'm studied up on my people and my culture of people. I'm not saying that I lack interest in healing. I want to heal in the entire world. That's what I want to do. But I had to start off with my people first because we're the ones that's the most sick. So when you get to studying the black woman's womb, you will see whenever she have problems going on in her reproductive organ areas, it's always something to do with either too high levels of estrogen or too low levels of estrogen. And look, guess what messes this up again? Proteins. So whenever you go back to sickness, every sickness is connected to a protein and it's connected to muconoid plaque buildup, mucus. You flush the mucus, you flush the sickness. Mucus is connected to the mucous membrane. The mucous membrane is nothing but the lymphatic system. If you can move your lymph, you move all sickness. And that's why you see these herbs and these healing testimonies in the diagnostic sheets of people having herpes and they don't have them no more. People having HIV, they don't have them no more. Stage 4 cancer, they don't have them no more. And I'm not saying I healed them. I'm saying the herbs I used healed them for all the pharmaceutical companies.
Okay, I was actually following a post where you had a young lady who had a contracted, what is it, HSV2?
Yeah, she had HSV2.
Which is the herpes simplex virus. How did you go about healing her? Because I seen that the strand actually came out of her body. And I researched it myself. I had to Google it. I'm like, is he telling the truth? And it sure enough was the herpes strand. How did you go about that? So the herpes
strand, we have to realize that the herpes strand is a protein plus a parasite. It's caused by a parasite. It's caused by a parasite called the Hemant worm. And then it feeds off a protein. This protein is literally a damaged cell. It's a damaged cell organism. So the thing about a virus is you can't kill a virus. The only thing you can do with a virus is detox it out. You can kill bacteria because it's a living organism. So when we dealing with herpes, we dealing with a bacteria in a viral upload. So again, I take you to the system again. I have to cleanse the nervous system. I cleanse the skin because what happens to this Hemant worm in herpes, it burrows itself to the bottom of your spinal column and it goes up to the ganglion nerve in the back of your spinal cord. So if it's up in the ganglion nerve, it comes and expresses itself out through your mouth. It gets in your eyes or your ears and stuff like that. These are people, they call this HSV1. So number
like
two,
shingles.
Look, and that's what I wanted to get into because a lot of people don't know that chickenpox is herpes, shingles is herpes, chronic acne is herpes, eczema is herpes. All these things is herpes, and if y'all think I'm lying, look it up. You just got to dig up the layers. You'll start seeing it's over 108 strands of herpes, and 8 of them exist inside of humans. So my question is, if this is a sexually transmitted disease, which it is now, where did it start from? You'll start seeing when they was giving out the zoster vaccine, that's where herpes came on the scene.
It's just amazing to me that we never heard of cancer being so, prevalent until, 1990?
Yes. Look, notice you won't see none of these diseases coming out until the late 80s. So this is where they started running these programs. And I don't want to mention the names because it's going to send certain targets. But this is when they start mentioning these vaccination programs. And look, all this stuff has been coming from this system, all of it. So the thing is to start eating right and to start meditating, start praying, and start exercising. What I mean by exercising, not bodybuilding, because that's acidic. So when you look at acidic, it's called a potential hydrogen scale, or potential hydrogen just means your pH balance. So 7 from down is the negative side, which is still acid. And then you got 7 all the way up, which is still acid. The whole body is made of acids. Where you get deoxyribonucleic acid from. That's your DNA. Inside of this DNA is sugar strands. Everything in sugar is nothing but carbon. Carbon is nothing but crystallized melanin. So it's all going back into biochemistry. When you get down to it, our chemical, they're changing our genetic makeup to match certain frequencies, and that's what's keeping us low. So how the healing go forth is you just change the genetic makeup back to where it came from. So if you want to get healed mentally and physically, just go back to Africa. And I don't mean book a plane ticket. I mean, literally start eating things that grow there. Everything that grows inside of your homeland back then, because, I mean, they have invaded there and been there setting up their shops and all of this. But everything that originally grew there was alkaline. We are an alkaline people made of alkaloids. Alkaline just mean electrical. That's it. We just need to get back into this the electricity of things. That's it.
Okay. I have a couple ladies on here. Ladies. Okay, I'll talk about they bringing you. They want some topics here, but the information, I'll pin the information on the title of the video. When the video is done, you can just go back. His website is on there as well. We have a young lady here that's asking about fibrosis.
Okay, so fibroids.
Fibroids. I'm sorry, fibroids.
I got a video on that. Fibroids is nothing but tumors. Whether it's crystallized or whether it's just skin tissue mass. This is getting into the tissues of things. Again, this is made from built up estrogen being inside of the body and in the bloodstream. So what you would do to get rid of that, you would get you some I don't even want to throw no herbs out there. What you would do is you just get at me and we can go through the system. But all you do is change your diet, and I cleanse your skin, I cleanse your nervous system, and then we really got to get down into your endocrine system and start cleansing your glands. And sometimes we see them pop off and fall out. Or sometimes they dissolve, depending on how big they is. So if they're the size of a grapefruit, we have to shrink them, of course, first. And then some of them pop and fall off. And it's some amazing ones you see. Some of them have teeth, eyes.
I've seen that on YouTube.
Yeah, some of these fibroids or tumors, that's all they is, literally have a whole brain network system. They start growing and developing mouths and eyes and everything. And this is showing you that your cells are literally becoming you. This is how you know that each cell is made of everything. So I'm looking at you, but it's literally 150 trillion of small micro things that look just like you. And all of these things have to eat. All these things have to take a dump and boo-boo. So if you have to literally go to the bathroom and your cells go to the bathroom, well, where is this cellular waste going? It's staying inside of the cells, and the cells are starting to die. So when the cells starting to die, you're starting to scar the tissue up, and you get mass and mass tissue that builds on top of it. This is where you get tumors from. So I would treat fibroids just like I treat cancer.
Okay, so they also are asking about people that's overweight.
Overweight, well, due to overweight, anytime people have an overweight problem, it means they're eating too much. According to our culture and what they did in our land, which is Israel, or what we call inside of Africa, what they did inside the homeland, yes, the original people inside of the homeland, what they did inside of the homeland was they literally didn't eat after a certain period of time. And then when they wake up, they didn't eat. We eat way too much because we've been taught to eat too much. You watch TV, all you see is McDonald's, fries, this and that. Then everything is saturated with carbohydrates, which break down and make things fat anyway. So what you have to do is you have to adapt a diet that was made for your genetic makeup and you have to fix your thyroid gland. Your thyroid gland literally regulates the temperature in your body, and it's the gear shift to your body. So if your thyroid gland is off, your weight is going to always be off. That's why people that lack calcium have thyroid problems, and they either depressed or overweight. So basically just cleanse your intricate system again and give you the perfect diet, and put some fat burners in there too, some things that'll really burn that fat up.
Okay, so what is your diet like?
My diet, I'm vegan, so
what does when you wake up in the morning, what does breakfast consist of?
When I woke up this morning, I had water, I had a couple juices. I had a couple juices, and I had some grapefruits with seeds, and I had some grapes with seeds.
Now, how important is it to have seeds in your fruit?
It's very important, because if it has seeds and if it have a stem, it means it have an umbilical cord. Anything with a stem, that's an umbilical cord, meaning it came from a tree. If it have seeds, that means it's living.
Oh, I didn't flip the camera around. All right, there we go.
And if it have seeds, that means it's living. So what they're doing now, they're making things genetically modified. Now, remember what I was talking about with the mitochondria of the so-called black man and black woman, which is a prokaryotic cell, single cell organism. Inside of your mitochondria, you have DNA. Inside of theirs, they just have organelles, meaning they have a system that re-breaks their food down and break it down again and break it down again, because they're made of many different series of DNA. You're made of one strand. So soon as you feed your cells, it literally becomes you. It comes straight into your DNA. This breaks down into the RNA, and it becomes you and start building up cellular tissue, what we call amino acid structures, not complex amino acid structures, which cause proteins. So GMO is the opposite side. Whenever you eat something, it's supposed to have some type of vitality to it. It's supposed to be electrical. So if it's not electrical, that means it's either adding to the electricity or draining the electricity. GMOs drain it because it's not electrical, because it's not living. It's not living. You need a living food because you're a living being.
Okay. Now we have a lady on here. Now we touched this topic before, but we have new people joining in. She wants to know about high blood pressure and what she can do to help it naturally instead of pills. So
I just spoke on high blood pressure, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of answers on here, Queen. So do me a favor, Queen, go back through this, and all my information is gonna be on here. But basically, it's when the blood presses against the arteries too hard. That's high blood pressure, and that's due to your kidneys and your adrenal glands. Mm-hmm. So the herbs can get rid of it for you in no time. So holler at me, I'll give you the herbs, and the herbs will heal you. Now Yahki.
Okay, and let me see here. What do we have? She
question.
asking about bad nerves.
Bad nerves.
How that affects the body.
So bad nerves. Bad nerves come. This is where you get rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid mean moving. Arthritis. Arthritis is basically anything that has a movement in it. That's where multiple sclerosis come in at too. So anytime somebody have a nervous system problem, your nervous system is literally what keeps you connected to the cosmos. They literally have a melanin deficient problem. That means they got too much waste build up inside between their cells or their joints, or they got too much waste build up on the nerve cell. So you have something called a melanin highway. This is where your nerves go through. The nervous system conveys electricity. You have an electricity problem. And I bet you 9 times out of 10 out of all the people that the herbs didn't heal, that I've personally didn't heal from nerve problems, is always because they're eating too much sugar. Sugar is bad for the so-called black man and black woman. You don't need sugar. Sugar is very bad for you. Only sugar you need is the natural sugar that your body already produces.
Okay, now when you say sugar, are you talking about the processed sugar or sugar and fruit?
I'm talking about, sugar and fruit is a natural sugar. You're made of like a fruit. The only difference between you and a fruit is melanin and chlorophyll. Period. Okay. I mean, melanin, chlorophyll, and magnesium. You have magnesium in your blood. Fruit have chlorophyll in their blood. So you can eat fruit. We are literally started off eating nothing but fruits and vegetables. We didn't eat meat, period. And we still shouldn't eat it now because that's what's happening to our people. So the thing about DNA, and this is why if you look back into slavery times, they used to eat Negroes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they did that is because once the body go into a stress state, the hormones released from the endocrine system release certain types of hormones and pheromones, and they feed off of that. And that's why, notice any animal in the wild that eat meat, he don't eat it after it's dead. He eat it while he killing it, and he don't put salt, he don't put pepper, he don't put it in the oven, and he don't eat other things. A meat eater in the wild eat nothing but strictly meat. Okay. Strictly meat.
So a lot of people are asking where he is located. For privacy reasons, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to let that be known, but he does have a YouTube. You do have a YouTube.
Yeah, we have a YouTube. I got a good following on Facebook, and I do have a website, and we do got a building. We got a building, but the building that we have is used for more spiritual reasons, and from certain type of corporations always messing with me and stuff like that. Like I'm surprised it's on long. If you ask any of the people that's following me, they snatch my stuff down very quick, mess with my website and everything. So for that reason, just get at me on my website. My number's on my website. I can even put my number on here and call me on my number. But as far as location, we can talk about that privately.
Okay. And what are your credentials?
Basic certified. I'm a certified herbalist. I'm a certified chemetrian. I'm trained up in science, biology, biochemistry. I mean everything. All I do is read, study, and go to certain schooling. But I'm gonna tell you this: through all that stuff I did, I didn't learn nothing from that. I learned when I started studying my homeland. That's when I started healing people. All that stuff I got, all these you see all of the certificates back there. Mm-hmm. All that stuff I got over there, it didn't do nothing for my healing and for my mental state. What did something for me is when I went back to my roots. Because even when you start getting into these schools and stuff, you still learning from the same system that's been teaching you all the lies in the first place. The thing is to trace back your DNA, your ancestral line. And I don't mean going to get a DNA test to find out that you are part this and that. I mean literally going back into the ancient times and when your people was thriving and when your people had a nation and when your people had their own education, they had their own banking systems, they had their own morality and their own system. There was a nation of people. They had their own military. When you start going back into that structure, that means they was highly in health and striving. When you start studying that and start studying what they was eating, it will blow your mind because it's the opposite of everything you're doing today.
Okay, what about honey?
Honey. Only honey I will recommend is Manuka honey. I wouldn't recommend no other honey. I recommend Manuka honey. And the reason why is because the honey that comes from there is full of phosphate. So only Manuka honey. Okay. That's the only thing I recommend. And only time I really use that is if I'm making like a salve or something. If you want something that's sweet, that's in a syrup form, get 100% organic maple syrup that literally comes from a tree, or you can get you some date syrup or some agave nectar. Okay. It's so many alternatives than what we eat now.
What about Streba and sweetener? I know that.
That's cool. That's cool. But that's if you want like make a transition. Like if you really just want to go all the way sweet, get you some 100% maple. It's like $16 a little thing, but it's worth your buck though, and it lasts longer because you don't need that much. The whole thing is we've been taught how to eat, and we eat too fast. So when we eat so fast, we miss these melanin components in our mouth. If you literally slow down and chew your food out when you was supposed to, you will realize that half the stuff we eating is nasty anyway. Your DNA don't even like it. But they so used to making us eat and drink together, so we'll take a bite of a burger and drink it down. We're not even eating. You didn't even know how that tasted for real. See, now if you slow down to eat stuff, you be like, man, this stuff is nasty.
What about bread? Because I know
bread is very bad for you.
Yeah.
So
with the yeast, right?
Yeah. Yeast is very bad for you. Yeast is another form of mucus, and yeast actually starts cancer and candida. So you have to stay away from yeast. If you actually read in the scripture, he said a little leaven the whole lump. If you look up that word leaven, it goes back to yeast. Traditional yeast. We don't need yeast. We don't need wheat. That is bad for your cells. What you need is stuff like rye bread. You got teff. You got spelt. You got garbanzo beans. You got so many other systems you can use to make the same type of bread and make it look just like it and even taste better, but it's not going to damage your cells and it's not going to lower the production of your electricity.
Can you explain briefly the difference between organic fruit, well, not organic fruit, but hybrid fruit?
Okay. Well, I want to touch on organic too. Okay. Organic don't mean nothing. They can put organic on something. If it was originally grown from that state, by law, they have the right to put organic on it. So that don't mean nothing. It don't. And this is how you know. I seen something in a store the other day that said organically grown seedless grapes. How is organic and original if it don't have seeds? Makes no sense.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So now as far as the fruits though, So if you want to pick the best fruits, it's best to go to your local farmers market. We actually building a site right now where you come get all your fruits from that come straight from overseas. We in little parts of Florida we messing with. Me and my uncle we did a business venture together. It's called Electric Fresh. It's gonna be on electricfresh.com where you can come to us and get any fruit you want. Healing fruits, sour sop. All type, any fruit you can think of, burrow, bananas, all of that. But the thing about picking your fruits is we eat to feed our bodies and our cells. We don't eat for taste. See, we have been brought into this tradition and this idea that we eat for taste. And once you really start eating these fruits, that's the taste that we need anyway. That's what we be looking for. That's how you know meat is very unnatural when you cook it. Because you literally got to doctor it up just for it to taste good.
Yeah.
So when you think about this in a scientific way or even common sense, you're like, why do I got to doctor in this protein up so much to make it taste good for me to eat it? Because naturally that is not made for your genetic makeup.
Okay. So I just have a few more questions here. Mm-hmm. She said, what are some foods to cleanse the body of mucus?
Fruits, grapes. Go on a grape fast. Go on a
with
grape
seeds,
fast.
right?
With seeds. Everything.
Any particular color?
Red. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Tupac said it best. Mm-hmm. So anything that's dark with melanin content, that's where your carbon and your natural sugars at. That's what you would need. So if you really want to rid the body of mucus, go on a 13-day grape fast, and then holler at me and get some herbs and drink nothing but water. And if you don't have anything wrong with your gallbladder or your kidneys, drink a gallon of spring water a day. Not alkaline water. That's man-made minerals that they made water into alkalization. That's not alkaline water. That's you tricking me and putting a price tag on it and telling me to buy it. So this is the type of water I drink. Eternal water, straight from up out of a mountain. You see what I'm saying? And they put it straight in the bottles, and they have a pH, a potential hydrogen scale of 8.0. This is alkaline. It got minerals in it, and it stimulates the nervous system.
Do you have any advice for diabetics?
Diabetics, any advice for diabetics is to get off the sugar. Now, you got type 1 and you got type 2. All of it is doing with the pancreas. The pancreas either producing too much insulin or not enough insulin and producing too much glycagon. So either one, get off the sugars, and you can call me. I even give out a free diabetic food meal plan. I can email it to you. And look, all these things can be healed through food, but it might take so long. The thing is, our genetic makeup have been trodden down and stepped on so much that we need the herbs to help assist us and accelerate our healing process.
Does the blood type matter?
Not for real, because they don't even know what blood type is. Like, once you get into the science of things, remember, I'm very deep into biology and biochemists. They don't even understand what blood type is. Mm-hmm. Like, me and you potentially have the same blood type now, but they'll call you A and B classified on the amount of pellets that you have inside of your bloodline. But, you know what I'm saying? So, blood types really don't matter unless you're getting into, like, making babies. And
yeah. Because I'm negative, or B negative, which is one of the rarest.
So. But that really don't matter. So what matter is landmass. It's called cosmic arrangement. That's what matters. Where are you from, and if you're eating the things from that land. You go against your blood when you go against your land. It's the same bloodline, though.
Okay, so we have a young lady on here, Miss Monroe, says she's borderline diabetic.
Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as borderline diabetic, according to the westernized pharmaceutical companies. If your melanin is so high of content, if they say you borderline, you got it. Mm-hmm. So anything they tell you, if they tell you normal at the doctor's office, something's wrong with you. You supposed to be reading off the charts. Mm-hmm. So like we have to remember that they go up, they treat us based off a white male, even women. When you go into the doctor, they all your blood tests, and then notice they only check one side of your arms. Well, you are a biosymmetry human being. Your blood pressure will always be different on your left than your right. Why is you only checking my right arm? Your sugar will always be higher on your right than your left. Everything about you. You have a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere of your brain. You literally are two individuals merged in one. It's because your mother and your father made you. Mm-hmm. So all these things come like this whole system. And I don't want to say they don't know what they're doing. Because they do. They just don't want to know what they're doing, because once people start healing, then that's going to hit pockets hard. And again, this is about money now. It's about money.
So since we're getting to speak on the economic standpoint of the pharmaceutical market, do you feel that Dr. Sebi might have been somewhat assassinated?
Of course. Of course. I mean, think about anybody that stood up for the black community. They're not around no more. We can even get to people that's here that was activists that's not around no more, that wasn't even on the level as Dr. Sebi. Anytime you choose to stand up for the nation, the black nation, so-called black nation, black is the color of a crown, but I need to say that for y'all can identify with these certain type of words. But anytime you stand up for the so-called African nation, they always Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Dr. Sebi, Darian Seals. Yeah. I mean, we can go down the line. Anytime somebody stand up and want to take back certain type of rights or freedom or health, it's a problem, because we are the ones, we are the consumers, and we make trillions of dollars a year that pass through our hands a day. So when we stop buying, this whole economy will collapse. So yes, they need to keep us distracted. They need to keep us as demon zombies and eating this and eating that, watching this TV program, watching this. That they don't want Negroes to start reading books. They don't want us to start teaching our children about our African roots. They don't want that, because once we start getting back in touch with that, we get back in touch with our God. And God means power in Hebrew. Mm-hmm. So they don't want us with the power. That's why any type of black pride or black power, they always sniff them out. They end up dead or dying in freak accidents and all of that, man.
So I know this is kind of off subject, but since we are in one of the most high crime cities in the world, how do you feel that that opium addiction, what does that do to the body?
It basically biohijacks the brain and the nervous system. So, I'm deep into the metaphysics and stuff like that too. And what these opiums do is they do the same thing that DMT do. DMT is produced through your pineal gland. All these different opiums, you got yourself. Oxytocin, all these things, you got yourself, and your mind produces it. But the thing is, when you take certain drugs, it actually have an effect and play on your pineal gland. And you literally blowing your pineal gland and your third eye wide open, and they opening themselves up to different realms. And it's literally killing our people, because our melanin makes us addictive people. And they knew that about us, because the thing about your melanin is it absorbs things. The thing about their melanin, which is the EO melanin and got sulfur in it, which is very dehydrating, theirs reject certain things. That's why when you see other nations sit in front of that sun, they get boils and they get cancer and start killing them. But if we sit in front of the sun, it activates something called tyrosine amino acid. It makes us darker. It makes us darker, and it energizes us, and it produces more melanin and converts our melanin to vitamin D. So we are people that's of an addictive nature, because we're self-absorbing. We absorb our environment, and they knew this. That's why they put guns in the hood. That's why they put dope and drugs in the hood. Everything. This is a psychological warfare, because they must keep us here, because we are the consumers.
Now, how important is melanin? I don't think people understand that the price of melanin, how you extract melanin, I have no clue. But the price of melanin right now, you guys can look this up, is more valuable than gold.
Yeah, so the price of melanin right now is at $436 a gram.
Wow.
$436 a gram. So, and this stuff is in your blood. In them it's only in the lower level of their dermal, they skin. And they call this eumelanin or pheomelanin. It's not connected to the cosmos. Your melanin is self-transitioning. And each one of your melanin particles, this is scientific. It actually holds up to 3 lightning bolts that come from the sky in each one of yours. So each one of your cells is literally one of the worst thunderstorms inside of the world each time. So you are a nuclear complex. You are one of the most powerful beings on earth, and they know that. They just never tell you that. And that's why they keep stuff to dumb you down. But the thing about melanin is the only thing you cannot destroy. Only thing you can't destroy. That's why it's good to eat foods that's high in melanin. And melanin is nothing but amino acids, carbons, the CHO. You see that? Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. All this stuff is. If you look up the melanin component, you can actually look up the molecule and the structures of it. It's going to go back to carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The thing about it is it never dies. It never dies, and it connects you to the cosmos. That's why we run the fastest. That's why we jump the highest. That's why we sing the best. I mean, if you start looking at the things we do, it's almost on some superhero levels. And that's why, because of melanin.
And that's why we have the Luke Cage.
Yes. So what's happening is, if you look this up, so the Caucasians and other races are dying off faster than they can reproduce. But they know if they get melanin inside of their blood, selenium, not sulfurized melanin, but selenium, not sulfur oxide, but selenium. If they get selenium, they live longer. So this is why you see all these, hundreds of thousands of it just come up missing. And then when you find them, guess what they missing? They main organs. Because Where do most of the melanin live at? In all the organ systems, and most definitely in the kidneys. Remember I said the kidneys is a seat to your ancestors? That's where most of it is at, and in your heart. That's why you see them missing their hearts, their lungs, and stuff like that. And it's going for the market. Now look this up, y'all. They have a melanin convention every year in England that talk about black people. Every year. They have a melanin convention to talk about melanin and what they can do with it. Do you know without melanin, you would not have speakers, you would not have a car, you would not have a computer, you wouldn't have flash drives. They need melanin to make all these things because melanin is a crystallized carbon that transfers energy and information. And you full of it. You're literally a walking trillionaire just because of your body parts. And that's why you'll see a lady and then you see them 2 days later on the news and they ain't seen them no more in years. They're literally extracting it from the body. You can do that through the blood. You can either do that by the drying process and breaking it down because, again, you cannot destroy melanin. It's energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred.
Well, since we're speaking on that organ harvesting, what does these plasma banks, what kind of role does they play?
And notice, they don't only want blood, they want the blood plasma.
They want the blood
That's
plasma.
the seat, and that's where melanin and DNA is birthed from throughout of the bone marrow. So what are they doing? And why is all these big corporations now starting to buy into these centers?
And predominantly black neighborhoods. Yeah. I have never seen a plasma bank in
because they don't need their blood. Their blood would do nothing for humanity. Remember, we're the single cell organism. We are the first people that was here, and we're gonna be the last standing always. So in order to stay living or stay in this continuum on what we call reality, which is fake anyway, if you get down into the metaphysics of it, in order to stay in this continuum, you need to be leached on to a people that you can live forever through. So if I knew I had 7 years to only live, but I know I can live an extra 20, if I can get some of your content and your genetic makeup inside of my DNA, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to figure out ways to do that.
Okay, we have a young lady on here. She's saying, is minerals the key of healthy
Not minerals is the key for a healthy bio body, but you got to realize that the body only exists inside of the mind and senses. You're experiencing everything through your nervous system by the senses. If I take your eyes, if I take your hearing, your touch, your smell, what would you be? You'll be nothing but this dark plasmic conscious, which is melanin. See that? So in order for your mind to experience reality, it created and gave itself a body. So yes, the body needs minerals, but the mind literally needs electricity. And that's what I'm saying when you get into what we're doing, all these things in one. You cannot talk about African health or so-called African health or so-called black health without mentioning culture and spirituality. It's all in the same. And all this is directly connected to Zion. All this is directly connected to our land. All of this. All of it. You have to go back to your land. Go back to Israel. Go back to Jerusalem. Go back to Africa. We have to. That's where our true health is. Got to.
Another thing, I've been doing some research myself because I used to get relaxers and I stopped about 6 years ago because my lymph nodes and my thyroid in the back of my neck, and all of a sudden now I have thyroid disease.
But that's given thyroids. And look, notice your lymph nodes is part of your lymphatic system.
That makes sense.
And this is so what's killing us is our lymphatic system because our kidneys is shut down. Remember, the kidneys is directly connected to your landmass and to your ancestors. Once we open up these kidneys, your lymph be able to flow, and you can't catch nothing with a clear lymphatic system. You just got to get rid of the mucus. Mucus and lymph is the same thing. It's literally 2 times bigger than your circulatory system, which is the blood, your cardiovascular system in your body. It's 2 times bigger than that, and it goes alongside of it. You know what lymph do? It moves through 150 trillion cells about 64 times a day and just pick up all cellular waste and then flush it out. But the only way it can flush it out is 2 ways. And I call it the 3 kidneys. Either your left and right kidney or your third biggest kidney, which is your skin. So you get bumps and stuff from. Anybody that got bad acne have a lymphatic system problem. Your lymphatic system is stagnant and your kidneys are bad. The kidneys and the lymphatic system is the key to healing. And you will see that your kidneys and your lymphatic system, if you trace that and start researching that, it's going to take you back to your homeland where your ancestors originated from.
How do you feel about apple cider vinegar?
I don't believe anything that fermentates like that. It's kind of bad. That's why you can't drink too much wine, apple cider vinegar, none. I don't really believe in none of that because it comes very acidic, just like garlic. So they got healing properties to them, but they strip something from them. Like garlic. Garlic is very, very good to heal your body, but it strips your body from calcium. Well, guess what you need to thrive off of from your thyroid gland? Your thyroid gland eats calcium. So if you strip me from calcium, now I'm depressed. Now it's messing up my taurocinin. It's messing up my vitamin D. You see what I'm saying? So we have to pick a herb that is good for all 12 systems inside of our body.
Okay, so ask him to explain cigarette harms and what it prevents people from doing.
Cigarettes. So cigarettes go back into diabetes. So the thing about these is sugar. They know, remember I was telling y'all that melanin absorb things. And the main thing that they absorb is sugar, because melanin is nothing but sugar. Sugar is nothing but carbon. Look it up. So the thing about, we're not addicted to the sugar. I mean, not addicted to the cigarettes. We're addicted to the nicotine, which is nothing but sugar inside the cigarettes. We're not addicted to the alcohol. We're addicted into the fermentation of the fruit that's been broken down into sugar and the alcohol. We're not addicted to the food. We're addicted to the sugar that's inside the food, because our melanin want to love and bind with everything, because the black woman is the nurturing woman of humanity. So, and that all came from you, and it's all in me. So it's the melanin that's remember, melanin is the most addictive product ever. So cigarettes are bad for the lungs. It's bad for the blood. It's bad for calcium. It strips the body of dehydration. All of that. It promotes hair loss. It promotes hair loss. So cigarettes are very bad, and it literally clogs up your brain, and it starts dimming these melanin clusters that's inside your brain that actually operate throughout your nervous system that connect you with the cosmos. And it messes up your taste buds.
What about marijuana? Now, I know marijuana was different.
Marijuana
is now government regulated.
Yeah,
majority of it.
If you can find some good marijuana, I'm not against marijuana at all. Marijuana is very good for the body. I wouldn't smoke it though. When you smoke it, it becomes chemicalized, and when it becomes chemicalized, it actually turns into like these dopamines, or it turns into different types of opiums, and it's good for the mind, and it's still healthy for the body, but it starts killing brain cells. That's what it does. But when you ingest it and consume it in like edibles and like herbs and stuff, it's very, very good for your body, and you still can get the high from it.
Okay. Now we wouldn't be hold on, I'm sorry guys. Real STL news. We have a young lady on here that says she's upset. She says these healers talk about the government money. They do the same, selling us the information just like the government sell us the medication.
Well, me speaking personally, Queen, I don't sell information. All of my information is free. I go live on my Facebook page every Tuesday. I travel. I do free lectures and all of that. Now, what I do sell is my herbal compounds, and that's because I have to pay for them. But other than that, you can ask anybody that follow Yahki. All my information is free. This information is free right now. Go on my website. That's free information. We upload videos every day. I'm live every Shabbat day on the 7th day of the week, doing free lectures, doing free teachings, doing everything. So my information is free because it's not my information. That's why it's called research. You're researching what somebody already researched. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to my healing herbs, and it comes from my patent on how I do my ratio, of course, this is what pays my bills. So that's what I charge for.
Okay, we have a lady that says she needs help with mygella?
Yeah, it's fibroids.
Okay.
So basically just get in contact. Again, the Queen is going to put all my information inside the description bar. Just get at me.
Can you explain to me what those are again? Those are like fatty tumors?
Yeah, fatty tumors.
In the ovaries, or just all over?
It can be in the ovaries. It can be on the fallopian tubes. It's all a part of the reproductive system. It's nothing but a tumor though. That same tumor, if it grows in your brain, they call it a brain tumor. You see what I'm saying? If it grows under your armpit on your lymph node, they call it a boil. But it's all just a tumor. It's basically tissue that stacks on top of itself because it became scarred due to cellular waste.
Okay.
And this is due to high levels or very low levels of estrogen.
Oh, we have people on here that's vouching for you. And she says she has some else. I don't know the pronunciation. Peacocks or Picos or PCOS. What's that?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
What you say?
She's saying she need help with it.
I just need to, and that's another thing too. We need not to get so caught up inside of their terminology, because it don't even explain what's going on with the disease. All we need to know is the symptoms. What's going on? Tell me the symptoms, and I know how to read the symptoms. Like I don't need none of the doctor's terminology. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what your body is going through, and then we can track down a root to it and fix it. So I'm not big on the terminology. We don't have to know none of them fancy long words and none of that. What your body going through, how you feeling, and let's get that healed through the herbs and through different meditational states.
She polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yeah, okay, ovarian syndrome. Well, that's gonna go back. That's gonna go back into the reproductive organs too. Again, that's gonna play a major part in because y'all have testosterone too. That's gonna play a major part in testosterone or estrogen. It's all about levels. When it comes to the body, it's all about levels of the body, the chemical makeup, and minerals. But we can't forget that we have a spiritual gasified body, or what they call an etheric body, that's attached to it, called the nervous system. And that's what viruses attack. Viruses attacks the nucleus of the cell, and it actually attacks the nervous system. Other than that, you got bacteria that attacks the blood and attacks the tissues. Lupus is a nervous system problem. Lupus, there is really no difference between arthritis, lupus, and MS. It's 3 different names. Just like there's no difference between HIV, cancer, and AIDS. 3 different names. It's all the same thing. The immune system is shutting down and the cells are fighting each other and they become dehydrated and mucinoid plaque build up. That's why you see HIV cancers die from what? Common colds. Die from mucus.
Yeah, that's true.
All mucus. Nothing but mucus, mucinoid plaque. So Dr. Sebi say that the causes of disease is mucus. I will say the causes of disease is the body cells lacking potential oxygen, which causes mucinoid erosion, which is nothing but mucus. Because mucus is a defense. It moves through the body. It's lymphatics that move through the body that tries to heal and aid the body and cleanse it. The more and more sick you get, the more and more it builds up. When it builds up, it starts literally suffocating the cell. Once the cell starts suffocating, it's no longer producing APT, which is this energy and sugar that the cell needs, and then that's where you sick at.
Okay, so what about mental illnesses like schizophrenia?
So all of this is mucus on the brain. Literally, look, we got laboratories. You can look and see somebody that's having mental illness and look at their brain. They have spots on the brain. The spot looks dark and hollow. Anytime you see dark and hollow spots, they either call it cancer or mucus when you look at it on the x-rays. It's mucus on the brain. Cleanse the brain. Drain the brain through the lymphatic system. I'm dropping the jewel on y'all. They not even talking about that yet. They'll catch up though. It's called the lymphatic system. That is literally the lymphatic system inside of your brain. Your brain have drain plugs just like your body have drain plugs. We must drain them. You just ain't gonna go and desiccate on your toilet and just leave the boo-boo around the rim, is you? Or in the toilet, you flush it, right? It has to go somewhere. It goes through the sewage system. This will be the lymphatic system. And then it goes through the chambers. This is what you call the lymph nodes. It converts itself. It takes the good stuff it needs and send it back to the blood. The blood send it to the cell for vitality. The bad stuff either go out through your digestive system or through as a diuretic, through your urine, period. And you need your kidneys to do both. It's all about the lymphatic system in the kidneys.
Okay, this young lady is asking, she's been having severe headaches. What are
severe headaches?
Could that be blood pressure?
That can be a lot of. That can
stress?
be blood pressure. That can be stress, and that can be for real the lack of oxygen. Actually, do she smoke cigarettes?
Do you smoke cigarettes, young lady? Okay, and while we're waiting for her to respond, what is keto fasting healthy?
No, keto fasting is a protein diet. Proteins is bad for the so-called black man and black woman. No proteins. Stay simple amino acid structures. A protein is literally a complex amino acid structure that have a nitrogen-based atom on the side of it. We don't need that. That's what's killing us. If you look anytime you look up herpes, it's a glycoprotein attached to it, and it's a protein cell that has been damaged. When you look up HIV, it's a glycoantibody protein that's attached to it, and it's a cellular damage structure protein that's attached to it also. When you go to diabetes in the pancreas, it's protein. What we gonna start noticing and realizing that all your sicknesses and diseases is dealing with protein. That's why meat is such a bad thing when it comes to the black community. Because our body don't process that right, and it don't process it like any other nation because we're not eating according to our genetic makeup. Your cell needs what the environment it was made in, and all these things we're eating today is not made in Africa. Even the things in Africa now that they making now was not made in there then. So we literally have to find our food. The best diet you can do is an alkaline biomineral balance, period.
Okay.
And who provides a great chart of that is Dr. Sebi and myself also. Mine's a little different than Dr. Sebi because I've been doing research in a lot of different other aspects, but them two. I have one on my website. You can go and it gives you a whole chart of things to eat and not to eat. We don't need to eat.
Now this is all free services.
All this free.
Okay, so we have people complaining those are free services. Now this young lady is
All the information on my site is free. You can go to my site and look down. I got the food list. We even email. I got downloaded charts for specific type of diseases. It'll say cancer diet. It'll say virus diet. It'll say bacteria diet. All these, y'all, you gotta do is download them. You can go to my store too. I actually download a kidney chart. Let me get it real fast. This is actually on my website, y'all. Let me break it over here. And all this stuff is free download.
And another thing was what kind of frustrates me is that black people, we don't like to support each other. Why is it that you would go to a doctor and pay him $35 for a co-payment, but then you have a young man here that's getting all these herbs imported from Africa and you hate to pay him.
And actually healing people. Diagnostic sheets, testimonies, hundreds of them, actually healing people. This is the kidney chart. Shows you how you're supposed to filter your kidney and everything. This is on my website for free. Free download. This is my healthy food combination chart. Showing you how to feed your melanin. This is on my site for free.
Okay.
I charge for my herbs and I charge for my top-notch metaphysical classes. Other than that, everything I do is for free. This is for free. I'm not getting paid to do none of this. It's for free.
So we have a young lady, a couple more questions, and then we're going to end this live here. We have a young lady that's asking about seizures.
Mm-hmm. Seizures come from vaccinations. Basically, seizures come from circuit shorts in the brain. How to get rid of seizures is CBD. CBD oil. Marijuana oil. Best way to get rid of seizures. I'm talking about fantastic with seizures. That, and you need something like Gotu Cola. You need more green chlorophyll plants to get the blood circulation in the brain.
What about aloe? How is that?
Aloe vera? That's GMO. That's not originally grown in Africa. That's most definitely GMO. And it's good for skin. It's good to use it topically, but it's not good to digest because it creates mucus. That's not an alkaline plant at all. Remember, we need alkaline plants because we're alkaloid people.
Okay, what are your thoughts on heavy metal toxicity? Is it something that she should be concerned about?
Yes, of course, yes. The best way to get rid of heavy metal is cilantro.
Okay, now what is that?
Heavy metals. So anything you eat have metals in them. Aluminum, barium, these things are bad for you. And what they do is, that's why it's so hard to get rid of herpes, because the herpes, that Hemant worm, hide behind metals inside the nervous system. So I literally have to cleanse the metal up out of the body before I get it.
Well, that's kind of weird that you say that, because I besides Real STL News, I do work in the medical field, and we had patients that had shingles, and they gave them magnesium.
Yeah, magnesium. You know what magnesium do? Magnesium flow throughout the nervous system and push against things. It push melanin. It push metal. So it makes sense.
Oh, okay. So it was trying to push it out.
Yeah. So metals, my bad, y'all. Metals you get from your foods. You get the chemtrails. You know you breathing them in. So metals are very bad, because the thing is, metal is what passed the blood-brain barrier of your body, and it gets inside of the nucleus of your cell. Mm-hmm. Once it gets inside there, the nucleus cell is the life of the cell. Inside the nucleus is your DNA. It's another DNA biohack. They're literally biohacking our bodies to change our genetic makeup.
Okay, what about asthma?
Asthma is the lungs. Basically, it's a respiratory system. It's mucus on the lungs. You just gotta cleanse the lungs of mucus. If you don't want to get the herbs from me, you can get on my site and we can show you how to do it for free. But you will have to stop any type of dairy products. That's actually what causes asthma.
I can believe that.
That's what causes asthma. Dairy products. Ain't no way you should be sucking on a cow's nipple when your mother had one when you was a child. You see, everything here is backwards. Why would I suck on a cow's nipple? It's made for a baby cow. I need to be on my mother's breast. You see what I'm saying? But it's dairy products.
What about almond milk?
Almond milk, cool, but a lot of the almond milk have pesticides and poisonous in it. It didn't start off like that, so I say no. The best milk is hemp milk and coconut milk. And walnut milk.
Where can you get the hemp milk from?
Hemp milk, you can get it from Whole Foods, or you can get it from me. You can buy the hemps, and I'll show you how to make it for free. All you're doing is getting the hemps, you put it in a bottle, add the hemp up, put some water on top of it, add a little bit of agave nectar, and you put it in a blender. Best milk ever. And it's good for you, and it's good for your melanin.
Now, hemp is marijuana, right?
Well, yeah, basically.
No.
But look, if you take the hemp, it don't have THC in it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's the hemp, it's the seed of it. But it's all part of the hemp plant.
Okay, which CBD oil is recommended?
I just showed you my CBD oil. I just put it in. My CBD oil, will it zoom in on?
My nails are looking trifling, but okay. There we go. So he has his own cannabis oil.
I have my own cannabis oil, and it's 1,800 milligrams, very, very high, very potent cannabinoids. It comes from carbon 21, hydrogen 30, and oxygen 2. It got terpenes, cannabinoids, very good for you, and I mean it'll relax you and everything, and it's premium full spectrum. So
okay.
you can get that from me.
A few more questions, so y'all better bring them on in. Okay, once again, his website is pinned below, and it's also listed in the caption of the video, so feel free to click that link. We have a young lady here asking, or a fella here asking, what can you do for boils?
Boils is a stagnated lymphatic system. I will apply something on you topically, and I cleanse your lymphatic system. What you can do while you're there, though, is get some Manuka honey and sit it on there after you rub some lime juice on it, because the lime juice is key lime juice with seeds. It's going to astringe and pull all that mucus out. You just get your lymph nodes swollen. If you got boils, it's either on your butt or it's up under your armpits. I'm being real. I mean, you don't got to tell me where it's at, but wherever it's at, you got to do that because you got to pull it out. So whenever you got a boil, that means your lymph node is very swollen. It's nothing but a tumor full of mucus. So you need to cleanse the mucus out of your body. Stop eating starchy foods. Stop eating anything with mucus in it. Go on my website, which is www.yahkiawaken.com, and get this food chart. It's for free. Follow this guideline. You won't have it. It'll go away.
Okay, what about flaxseed milk?
Flaxseed good too, but it ain't got nothing on hemp. Hemp would be the most one because hemp is full of selenium.
Okay.
So, my diet aids and helps electricity and the electromagnetic spectrum of your body and your melanin. That's what it's all about. The carbon. We're carbon people, so we need carbon. Carbon is our vehicles. We need to keep our vehicle running and up to par. So you need to eat things like, for instance, you can't give a diesel truck regular gas, can you?
No.
It won't even run. Same thing. You shouldn't be eating other people's food. You need to be eating your food that was originally grown in your land.
Now, I've seen that on your personal Facebook, which you guys can't add him. I know you probably 5,000 friends and over, right?
Yeah, but I got a lot of
followers. You got followers,
you can follow. So on my personal Facebook, it's at Yahki Awaken, Yahki. No, Yahki Hickman. My personal Facebook is Yahki Hickman. YAHKIHICKMAN. That's my personal page. Follow me. I put a lot of information on there because it is my personal page. Then I have a blue check public page, which is just regular Yahki. YHAKI. Follow both of them. We drop a lot of knowledge on there, and I'll be live when I'm not out of town or when I'm not doing my spiritual stuff and teachings. Every Tuesday I go live.
Okay. I know you mentioned some on your personal Facebook about toothpaste. What do you have against toothpaste?
Toothpaste. It got fluoride in them. And look, the toothpaste tell it all. Just look at the back of your toothpaste. It's either going to have a blue strip, a red strip, or a black strip. All of these show you how much, or a green strip. Green strip tell you it's natural, but it got a little bit of chemicals. The red and black strip mean it is full of nothing but chemicals. So the thing about it is it's full of fluoride and metals. Full of fluoride. Fluoride literally actually calcifies your pineal gland. Without your pineal gland, you cannot produce melanin. That's what produces melatonin. Melatonin is what makes you mellow, your awakened sleep pattern. And serotonin is what makes you serious. That's what actually produces while you're awake. So these toothpaste and these deodorants and all this other stuff is literally, and the toothbrush itself is messing with our melanin. That's why it's bad for you. But go on my website. I sell I sell toothpaste. Like anything you can think of, we provide it to help you get your body back to its vitality.
They're asking, can they use baking soda?
Yeah, of course. It's baking soda inside of mine. Yes, baking soda is very, very, very alkaline. It's natural.
Okay.
But it will strip the enamel, so you gotta cut it. Cut that baking soda. Otherwise, you're gonna start getting spots on your teeth because it starts stripping your bones. Your teeth are nothing but bones. That's why your teeth is naturally yellow. Naturally.
That's why you gotta bleach them.
That's why and that's why you shouldn't bleach them.
You shouldn't bleach them?
No, you shouldn't bleach your teeth.
Now, how do you feel about antibiotics?
Antibiotics, I do not like antibiotics. Anybody to come with me on that, I try to cleanse their body of it. Bio means life. Anti mean against. I wouldn't take nothing that's against my biochemistry. Why would I take anything that's against life? And that's what the food we're eating, the medicine they giving us, the books they giving us, the television program they giving us, these messed up songs on this radio, all these are antibiotics. All this is against your life. You need probiotics, living cells, things that's going to aid and move and flow and help you live, not kill you.
Okay. So any closing statements?
This I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna leave it here. I love my people, and I will do anything for my people. I'm for my people. That's why I'm from you. I'm not here to get y'all. I'm here to teach y'all and to send awareness to y'all. I love y'all. I'm here for y'all. That's all I gotta say. I love y'all.
If you guys would be interested in seeing him every Wednesday or a couple Wednesdays a month for our Wellness Wednesday segment, go ahead and inbox us, and we'll try to arrange that for you guys, because I see you guys are very in tune and it's a lot of engagement. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to answer a few more questions here. Okay, what we have here?
Yeah, they be having them questions. My family.
Oh, he asking about sperm. Let me see here. I'm gonna try to read it without flipping the camera on my crusty face. I done lost it now. Yeah, they saying that they want to see you back.
Okay, all praises, all praises.
Oh man. Okay. I have a few family members who were told I can't see exceptional low sperm counts, no issues with testosterone level, troubles with having children due to low sperm count, basically.
Yeah, you can get your sperm count up. You got the yambe leaf from Africa, that yambe. You got the damiana leaf from Africa. It's so many leaves. It's so many leaves due to fruits out here. If you take the leaves, it'll get that right up. And remember, your sperm is nothing but your nervous system. If you see an immature sperm cell, when it materializes, it literally becomes your brain and your nervous system. So all you got to do is feed the nervous system. You feed the nervous system, you'll feed the sperm. And you need nervous system food. Like, again, yambe, damiana, gotula, stuff like that.
All right.
Wild yam.
All right. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Real STL News. It was an honor to be in the presence of Yahki Hickman. Once again, you can add him on Facebook. His website is listed in the caption and pinned below. All right. Yes, they said they want you every Wednesday.
All right, well, I'll be back. I love y'all, family. Let's heal our minds, our body, and our soul. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Let's heal, and let's always never forget home. We have forgotten home, and we have gotten too comfortable here, and we have gotten too comfortable being sick with disease and illness. Let's get back home. Mindset first, and then, hey, who knows? Maybe 144,000 in Zion.
All right. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Amino Ali for the community, because we are the community. Stay safe, everyone.